Who's your Brandon Aiyuk pro comparison?
Oh, man. That's interesting. Like before I saw him play, just when I looked at his body type and his numbers from the combine, I was like, oh, he's Akeem Nicks, like 6 feet, long arms, can make acrobatic catches, but he doesn't move like he's faster than Nicks. He's faster than I thought he would be. And Nicks used to make really tough catches in traffic, and I don't think Aiyuk really does that right now. Aiyuk's getting open, and he's a monster after the catch. I can't really. I don't know. I don't know. Do you have anything? Can you help me here? I've been trying to think of something. I know Tim Ryan said Devontae Adams. No, he's a little bit smaller than Devontae Adams. Yeah. Adams like 6'1", 215. Aiyuk's like 5'11 and a half, 195, which is cool. I almost want to say Odell Beckham Jr. He's not Odell Beckham Jr. And I know he compares himself to, but he's the same size. And he does have the ability to kind of make these like frog-like extending catches. And he's faster than I thought. I don't know if he's as fast as Odell. I'm not going to say he's Odell Beckham Jr., but there are similarities physically.
Is he as shifty as Odell? Because Odell's like super shifty, spin move, jukes. Is he like that?
He's a kick returner, a punt returner. He was the yards after the catch king in college. He's pretty elusive, man. I mean, I'm not saying he's Odell Beckham Jr. because he's not, but that's like the closest thing I can think of so far.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. What do people in the comment section say? Does anyone else have anyone? DJ Moore with a bit of Odell. Okay. Super explosive like DJ Moore. Really yoked up like him. Okay, fair enough. Odell was way more polished coming out of college, though. True. Odell started multiple years in the SEC. Brandon Aiyuk was in junior college. He didn't play wide receiver until after high school, and he only started 1 year at Arizona State. I'm just thinking about in terms of how they move. Like, and I eventually, my comparison for Deebo Samuel is Percy Harvin. They move a little differently, but in terms of how they're used is kind of similar. Like each guy needs to have the same amount of carries as catches because they're like equally dangerous in both facets. And they need to have snaps where they just line up at running back because they can do that too. And they probably should be returning kicks. So Deebo Samuel's like probably a cool 25 pounds bigger than Percy Harvin, but that's my comparison. He's a bigger, less shifty, but basically the same end result as Percy Harvin. Maybe more durable, but maybe not. We'll see. Brandon Aiyuk, I don't know if maybe a poor man's. Do people still say that? A poor man's Odell Beckham Jr.? Odell had a hamstring injury in his rookie camp too. Let's hope, right? Maybe Brandon Aiyuk misses 4 games, comes in and just has 1,300 receiving yards in 12 games. Breaks all kind of Jerry Rice's records. Great comp for Deebo, Grant. And we talked a lot about Deebo before the draft, and it's just really hard for me to make accurate comparisons until I see him in person in practice. And I wonder if you're the same way, Eric, because he was on the Jets. I mean, is there a difference playing with a guy in practice, feeling how he moves, seeing him in person, seeing him like on your laptop playing against college players? I think there is. I think when we watched Deebo, we were like, oh, that's Pierre Garçon when we saw him at the Senior Bowl and stuff like that. And then when I saw him in person, it's like, that's not Pierre Garçon. They have actually quite different skill sets. This guy's more of a gadget player. He's less of a traditional wide receiver, but he's more impactful. He's better than Pierre Garçon. Dante Pettis comparison. So last year when we were all not hopeful, but he seemed like he was going to have a good year too, that back in minicamp, I was thinking, man, this guy has that shiftiness of Victor Cruz. Now, Victor Cruz was also one of the toughest wide receivers ever and would make all those catches over the middle and get hit. And that's kind of why his career fell apart or didn't last long. That's not Dante Pettis. But I don't know why I stick with that Giants team. I mean, I saw him it was the first NFC Championship game I saw in person. So when I saw Aiyuk first, I'm like, that's Akeem Nicks. And when I saw Pettis, I'm like, that's Victor Cruz. But no, he's the other guy, the third guy from that team. He's Mario Manningham, who used to be on the Niners. And they're kind of slender outside receivers who aren't fast enough to just run straight by you. They're not 4-3 guys like Marquise Goodwin, and they're not super big guys like DK Metcalf, but 6 feet, 180-ish, and they can run some mean routes near the sideline. They can run those real swift, crisp, deceptive double moves. They can cut off their left foot. They can cut off their right foot. Some people can only cut off one. I mean, I can only jump off one foot. Chances are you can only jump off one foot. I get the feeling that Pettis and Manningham are the kind of dudes who could dunk off either foot. Explosive guys, not guys who go over the middle, not starting wide receivers, not a number one receiver, not a number two receiver, but maybe potentially an excellent number three. Remember, Mario Manningham essentially won the Super Bowl for the Giants the second time they faced the Patriots, because on the final drive, Bill Belichick was recorded saying, we got to double Manningham. No, we got to double Knicks and Cruz. It's a Knicks and Cruz game. We can't let them beat us. That's Belichick's philosophy. You can't let the top two guys beat you. Back when he was on the Giants, he was going to take away Jerry Rice and John Taylor and make the Niners beat him with Roger Craig and Brent Jones. So the Giants threw to Mario Manningham deep down the left sideline and got it. So if Pettis could become Mario Manningham, I think that's the best he could do. Now, that's not what you want when you draft a guy in the second round, but at this point, I think the Niners will take Mario Manningham from Dante Pettis, because a few months ago, he was a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl. Manningham wasn't a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl. Manningham was a Super Bowl hero. So that would be a nice redemption story for Dante Pettis. Manningham was a Niner. And he had a couple moments. Did he have a couple moments? Maybe a couple moments. And why'd they get him? Because he was part of the team that beat them.